Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us on our call. We are just going to wait one quick moment here to have our room populate with our participants here. In the meantime, while we've got everyone filtering in, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Amy Truesdell. I'm going to be the moderator for today's call. And we do have 3 guest speakers who are going to be joining us shortly, and we'll introduce those to you in just one quick moment here. Let's start with a little housekeeping, just to make sure that our call is running smoothly. So first off, can everyone see my screen? If you can see my screen, I want you to go ahead and please type in the panel, visual is good. That way I'll know that we're all on the same page here. Okay, great. I've got some answers coming through. And I guess that's going to answer my next part, and that was if you could hear me okay. So with all these responses coming through, I must be able to be heard on your end. So that's great. Okay. So what we're going to do now, before we get started, we want to just let you know that there is going to be a live Q&A session that we'll have at the end of the call today. And any questions that pop up, please go ahead and feel free to type them in the chat box, and we will get through as many as we can at the end of the call. And any that don't get answered, what we're going to do is have an individual follow-up that will come after the webinar. Okay. So now let's go ahead, and I'm going to introduce the host for our call today, and this is AMS's president, Mr. Mike Kowalski. Mike, are you with me?
I am, Amy. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. How about yourself?
Doing fine. I'm really excited about this call. It's one of my favorites that we do throughout the year. Great hot seat call. We have really 3 interesting guests who we got scheduled to come on today. And the good thing about these people that they're from all different parts of the country, Amy.
Exactly.
They all have different years of experience in the real estate business, but they have one thing in common. You know what that is?
What's that?
Is that they've just in the past year joined the Craig Proctor program using our hotline.
That's right. Yes.
So you know, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of members that have been on our system for 10, 15 years, 8 years, and all these guys are just come on joined about a year ago. So they've all got some interesting stories in different type of campaigns that they have started, and we'll share that success with you today on the call. So it looks like we're getting a lot more people call in. And as mentioned, Amy mentioned, you guys have any questions, just type it in the chat box on the right side, and right near the end we're going to open it up. You can ask any question you want to any of the panelists that we have on today's call. So are we ready to go, Amy?
You bet. Yep, we're all set. So we can go ahead and introduce our first of 3 guests for today. We have Philippe Doyon. Philippe, are you with us today?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing today, Philip?
I'm doing great as usual.
Oh, that's great. Great stuff. So, Philip, why don't you start off? I know we've got some bullet points on the screen there. Why don't you give us a little bit of background about yourself, a little elevator version of kind of how you got started in the Proctor program, what you did before, what you're doing now, and what's your plan in the next few years using the Proctor program and hotlines.
Well, basically, I've been introduced in real estate about 8 years ago when I bought my first home. The realtor that sold me the home was also my friend, and he got me into the business because I don't know if that was truthful or not, but I wanted to believe it, that I had what it took to be a good realtor. And basically, for the first 7 years of my career, I was an average realtor, not knowing how to generate leads. I was bugging family, friends, and acquaintances for referrals, and I just basically went to a ceiling that I couldn't break through over the last 3 years. And then when I saw Craig's ad for a seminar in Montreal, it really spoke to me. So I jumped in, and I never looked back since. It's been a year since I've been in the Quantum Leap program, and this is probably going to be my best year ever. And I I'm in a marathon. I just want to grow my business 50% every year, so that should bring me to a 8-fold growth within 5 years. And this year is going to be my first 6-year figure as a gross commission income. And my biggest lead generator is the editorial ads. I generated as many as 67 leads in 1 week. And most of the business is future business, but getting better and better with the follow-up. Those are all going to be turning into come list me's. So that's pretty much how it works to me.
Well, that's a great story. Let's start by so we have more than one hotline, as you know. Why don't you share with the people on the call today what hotlines you are currently using and kind of how you're using them?
Okay, I'm using the information hotline because this is the less branded way of doing business, and it comes with the editorial ads. So basically, I'm in the paper every second week. I generate my leads through that, and I think the most important thing that people have to understand is how fast you get back to your prospect that determines how many of them you're going to talk to. And my main job for now is just to call back the prospects, get the timing and their motivation, and then I just put them in a category. Is it now business, future business, or no business? And I reach at least 80% of my prospects on the first time, because my biggest priority is to call back the prospects as soon as I get my notification. I get my notifications on my smartphone, and it's about a 7 to 8 minute delay. So most people that I do call back are actually quite pleased that I do call them back, and they're also already in a real estate mood and mindset. So when I talk to them about what they did 8 minutes ago, they all remember.
Well, that's great, and isn't it really cool that you can have kind of a prospects chasing you and leaving a trail of information, so you have a real warm lead, and in some cases a live, meaningful conversation, which is probably the best type of lead, where you have the the dial zero feature, where actually buyers or sellers could actually dial zero within your script to talk to you about a certain. Now, in your case, the editorial style ad, a lot of that is you're not an agent, but on the property tree, which we'll get into later in the call, it's a huge benefit. So that's good. So why don't you share what type of campaigns are currently working? I know Craig has offered a lot of these pre-done scripts that are in the information line, and there's a whole, you mentioned a whole buffet of scripts. So it's just a matter of determining what market you want to go after, and get an ad, place an ad, and put your 800 number and 4-digit ID in the ad. So why don't you share what campaigns are working best for you, and how did you determine that was working?
Okay, basically, at first you never know which campaign is going to work good. So I did a lot of testing and tracking. So I did quantify what kind of campaign gave me the best response. And in my marketplace, I found that seller leads are actually the ones I like the most. So I direct most of my campaigns to sellers. It's the 27 seller tips, the 7 pitfalls or deadly mistakes, and 11 inspection traps. Those are my 3 best ads that I run in rotation. And once in a while, I will try a FISBO ad or an expired ad. They don't bring in as many leads, but I found out that the quality of the leads is really, really high, because you have to remember when you're doing this that you have so much time to call back your leads, and there's quite a bit of work involved in nurturing those leads. So if you get one good lead that leads to a closing, I think it's really worth it. So it's not all about the quantity of leads, but it's also has to do a lot with the quality of leads. I haven't tapped into the buyer market yet because I'm overwhelmed with business just with sellers.
And you do have an option to work with buyers or sellers, or like you said, work with editorial style ads and classified ads as well. So that's really good. Now, how do you determine we do have a reporting system on our hotline where you can go into the website and actually track and measure. We have a detailed summary report for each campaign. Do you actually use that daily to really measure your marketing and see what's working, what's not?
Yeah, actually, I track everything in real time, so I can even tell you how many leads I did generate yesterday, how many leads at what time of the day. And the funny thing about that is you get also the time that the lead gets in, and I found out that people who call me during the night or over the weekend are usually lesser quality leads than people who call during regular business hours. So it's that precise.
That's great. So, and you can turn this system on or off, pump it up, turn it down. It all depends on what pace you want to go at. Depends on the number of ads that you run, correct?
Yes, it's to a point where I had to hire a part-time admin just to help me nurture my leads and put everything in my contact management system because it's over, I'd say probably 750 leads over the last year that I'm still nurturing. And 2/3 of my business is coming from AMS right now. The 1/3 that's left comes from either referrals or my sphere of influence.
That's great. 750 leads, a lot of leads, and you mentioned earlier in the call that follow-up is really important, and the timeliness of the follow-up. You mentioned you call back within an hour of the lead, or try to call back within an hour of the lead.
No. As I get it.
Oh, okay.
So it's 8 minutes. Usually that's how long I take, because that's how long it takes for me to get the lead on my phone. And I think it's the most important thing is to reach the prospect on the first time. I've had leads that I've been trying to reach for over 4, 5, 6 months, and I couldn't get them on the first call, and I never got them. People who call from work, sometimes I do reach them, sometimes I don't, but I still manage to capture 80% of the prospects who actually request the report. So,
yeah, and along with that too, you also get the name and address of every caller that funnels into your hotline, whether they left a message or not.
Yeah, pretty much. I say about 92%. Some of them do actually call from the office,
yeah.
And sometimes those I can't join. I try reverse lookup in the phone book, but I say 80% is good for me for lead capture.
Good. So you had 80% calls or messages to call on your hotline?
No, I mean 80% of the people who leave a message, I talk to them.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I was going to say 80%. What are you doing on your hotline script? And that's good. But yeah, it depends. I mean, the information on editorial style type of ads usually seem to do a lot better when it comes to lead generation because you're not an agent and you're the information provider or news as well. So we talk about the hotlines. Can you share some personal benefits? I know it's been a year using the hotline and the practice system. Can you share some of the personal benefits that you are seeing using the marketing system and using the hotline?
Well, it's a steady stream of business.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I can predict how my business is going to grow each and every year. I can also turn off my phone. I can even generate enough business so I can actually delegate some of the business to other agents. Mm-hmm. Besides that, it gives me peace of mind. I'm actually not worried about January 1st because I already have so many people that ask me to call them back as soon as a new year arrives that I know I'm going to list many, many properties, and those are motivated people. And I found out that if you have a good contact from the first time, Craig is right. I don't think people really like to interview realtors. They just want to find one and if they're happy with the contact that and the service that you provide, they won't look for another agent. So some people get 2, 3, 4 reports, and then when I call them back, you know, they're happy to talk to me, and they will be really truthful about their timing and motivation and the reason why they're moving or why they're selling.
So the hotline is really giving you the ability to screen out all the poorly qualified, unmotivated tire kickers, we'll call them.
Yes.
Which waste your time, and that's a huge benefit I can see with you. And you also mentioned it gives you structure in your life as well. I mean, it really eliminates any constant interruptions or people hounding you when you're at dinner or away with family. It's like having a 24/7 robot and maybe another assistant or two, really, for the price of it.
Yes, and the beauty of it is that you never get to cold calls. And I was always not really comfortable cold calling people, but now I know that I do have a lot of information for people, and it is useful and it helps them. So, you know, I'm in a position where they're lucky that I call them.
Really good.
That's the way I feel, and I think it just it translates in my speech. I'm confident. I know that they need a good guy like me to help them in one of the most important transactions in their lifetime. This is the biggest asset most of the time, and they don't want to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Are you good point? Are you using the USP property tree, which is our other hotline, where this is the hotline that actually flies into the prospect's radar, where you're advertising your USP ads and the property and sign writers?
Well, the thing is that I don't have enough listings that stay long enough for me to have the property hotline, but right. maybe later on. So what I did is I cheated a bit. I used part of my information line as a lead generation tool for my listings. Yeah. So since there's 10,000 extension numbers, I delegate one with the address of every of my listing, and it gets in. Most of the people don't leave a message, but you know what? I still call them back, and they're happy that I do. So I do about, I'd say, every listing that I get gets me about 2 really good buyers.
That's great.
So for every listing, I sell 3 homes.
That's great. That's great news. Well, I think I know you have to leave to go on another webinar, Philip, and I really appreciate you being on the call. And feel free to stay on the line. We're going to bring on our next guest, Nim, and we're going to open up the lines for open Q&A near the end. So thank you very much for doing that. If you want to stay on near the end, feel free to do so.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, Amy, let's get our other guest, Nim Yanni.
Yeah, I believe Nim's on the line. Nim, are you able to join us?
Yes.
Perfect.
And how are you today, Nim?
I'm very good. It's hot for October, so it's good.
Yeah, the weather is good everywhere. That's really,
yes,
really good. And the real estate's heating up?
Yes.
That's cool.
I'm here in Burlington, Hamilton area in 1 hour and a half from Toronto.
That's cool. Well, why don't we get started? Why don't you share with the people on the call today kind of what hotlines are you currently using right now, and how are you using them? Actually, no, sorry, let me why don't you start off first by give us a background of yourself, before you started using hotlines and the practice system, and where you are currently now and where you plan to go.
Okay, so before I joined, the Craig Proctor was in end of May. I didn't have any system in place. I just got business from whenever I could get it. And after using this system for 3-4 months, I'm just not going to leave it until the day I quit the business.
That's cool. So Nim, you just started the program in May of 2013. That you were at the Toronto event?
Yes, yes, I started just a little bit before the actual event.
Cool. So that's great that you've quickly implemented some of the strategies and that Craig offers. So what hotlines are you currently using, and how are you using them?
I have both hotline, but so far I'm using the unbranded one, mostly on editorial and some of classified.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going really well. I got 250 leads so far in 3 short months. So
Wow.
doing bright.
So you got 250 leads in 3 months?
Yes, something like that. And most of them upcoming in the next spring. So I just need to have the patient and follow up with them with my newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going well. I get to talk with at least 90% of them.
That's cool. And then do you usually call them back as soon as the lead comes in?
No, actually, I like the system Craig put together. You can be, my first time I ran the ad, I got 15 or 16 leads. I actually been in a pool. It was Sunday, and I just follow up with them, like you say, on Monday evening, call with everybody, and they actually say thanks when I call back. So I don't rush to call them so fast, and I still get hold of all of them.
And do you, I know you get a lot of calls there and a lot of messages. Do you actually call hang-ups, like people that don't leave a message?
No, now I get so many leads every
Right.
time I run it, between 10 to 20. One time was even 34 leads.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just don't worry about hang-ups.
That's a great problem to have. So
Yes.
yeah. So what ads are you actually running?
I'm running editorial do the best. I used to run them with the website.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't pull as much, so now I quit the website part and I'm just put the hotline.
Mm-hmm.
Because this way the people cannot cheat with their numbers. They have to call for somewhere. I get that number right away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going really well like that. So what kind of editorial I'm doing? I'm testing all of them. Even for sell by owner, I was surprised. I got one time 34 leads from just $200 ad. So I'm doing that. I'm doing 10 questions before you hire an agent, 7 must know. I'm just playing around with all the ads. Most of them will work very well.
Now, you placing these ads, whereabouts are you placing these ads? In your local publications, larger newspapers, or even online?
Online, not too much. We have few publications around here. So larger one go for 80,000 homes. One of them go for 60,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to have the budget to run them every other week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming every time I run the ad. I know I'll get a leads, and we'll have a closing on Friday. If I didn't have that system, we'll not have that closing. It's $10,000, which covers the entire program basically. And I just started, so I'm happy.
And sorry, what specific ads? I didn't get. What specific ads are you running that Craig offers in the marketing library?
10 questions before you hire an agent.
Okay.
Working well. And also I have home seller mistakes working well, inspection working well, and 27 tips. Editorial, mostly I'm targeting sellers, and even for sell by owner was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I run ahead, they actually give me some leads, and you just need to keep running them every week, every other week.
Well, that's,
if I had the budget, run them all the time.
Yeah, and have you, do you go into the reporting system a lot to track and measure what's working, what's not, and
Definitely. Definitely. When I started to run them in a smaller publication, it didn't pull as much, but still gave me 4 or 5 leads.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all depend on the cost, and $20–25 per seller lead, it's always good. So I have no complaint.
Now, are you the reports that Craig provides once the lead comes into your 800 number and leaves a message? Are you actually mailing out the report or emailing the report with a follow-up
Yes,
call?
I'm not using email. People don't appreciate that, so I do actually mailing them with a cover letter, and I add up my business card. I put my 1-800 numbers with the USP on the business card, so it's all go to them, and I follow up with a newsletter every month.
Right.
Make sure next spring everybody will call me.
So really it's that simple. You're actually placing the toll-free, the 800 number that we provide you in the ad with a unique, specific 4-digit ID, which the purpose of that is to track and measure that publication or newspaper or postcard or wherever you're placing that ad. And as you mentioned earlier, we give you a whole bunch of mailboxes, a whole bunch of 4-digit IDs that you could make specific to certain campaigns, so you know what's working, what's not.
Yes, the system is so precise. I can see right away what is working, what not. I'm not running as many, so I know what I run in that weekend, but I can see exactly timing. They come to my BlackBerry. I can see in real time, and yeah, I can track everything. The system is really, really good.
Yeah, we over the years, a lot of people have used the internet because of the size and the power of it, and more and more and more, I'm hearing more. I mean, the hotline lead has been a lot more quality, and it has been all the time. And the good thing, I was talking to Rick Brash the other day about the grade A lead, and that being kind of a perfectly timed and live, meaningful conversation with your buyer or seller, which to me, you know, isn't that the best lead? You know, you could, you know, have a motivated buyer or seller call you on your number, and depending on the description or a price change, if it's a property tree sign, have them call you directly by dialing 0 and have a meaningful live conversation. And that sure beats, in a lot of cases, trying to, you know, get an email or try to follow up with someone that you may not get a hold of again. And we're just finding more and more and more those are the type of calls that or leads that you want to get.
Yes, definitely. It's like assistant without pay them too much. You just saw the lead so good. If they decide to leave a message, I can see how many seconds even. So if I get for example, a message for only 7 seconds, I know this is not a great lead. But most of them is 30, 40, 50 seconds message. I know those one. I pull them right away. I listen to them. I found out where they live, and send a report, and it's work is magic.
Well, that's interesting what you mentioned about be able to track the length of the message and where they did hang up, and that really is a big thing. And Rick talks about a lot in his coaching calls about scripting and the tonality, the female-male script, especially in the USP property tree, where it really allows you to determine, you know, what, you know, maybe there's a word or a phrase that you said in your property listen that may have not been good. And as you know, Craig and Rick, they really don't recommend that you put, you know, the price of the home or any details of the list in just to generate the lead. Do you have you used the property tree for your listings?
Just started. I'm learning that system now.
Right.
Because I didn't have too many listings.
Right.
But I know for the future, it's just the learning process, and like the panelist before me is running for a year. I'm sure I'll get there very, very soon. It's I know the future is bright with this system. It's no-brainer.
That's right. You mentioned that there is a, for the people on the call that have a tree system or may have a tree and not sure of the dial zero feature is a really great feature to have that live conversation. And some of the tips that we've had in some coaching calls, agents have used a price change in a house, which works really great. And a lot of people put that in the script, give a good description of a warm feeling of a house, and that dial zero feature, especially in a price change, a lot of people or your prospect will dial zero, expecting to hear that price change, but in turn it really transfers quickly to the agent's phone or to the office or wherever you'd like it to go. So it also may be a USP that you may want to mention for homes that meet your criteria or home evaluation or whatever. That they work very, very well on the property tree. So that's great great stuff. So what is can you share some of the personal benefits of the system and how it really has helped you with your life and giving you freedom?
Yes, for sure. First of all, it's no worries. Now I know I have the leads coming in. Before I start the entire program and the 1-800 numbers, I didn't know what I'm doing almost. I just chasing around. Now everybody calling me, and they're actually happy when I call them back. And so it's no worries. It saves me time. And I prepare. When I call them back, I'm prepared. I don't just pick up the phone, which is very, very good benefit. I don't pick up the phone basically for nobody unless they leave a message first. Give me the time to prepare, to know what I'm saying, to find out. I know exactly what they're asking before I even call them back. So this just give a big, big advantage.
So it really replicates what you say. I mean, you must get a lot of tire kickers the old way, people calling in, wasting your time, where the hotline, we call it the hotline robot for a reason, 24/7, never calls in sick or hungover. It's actually an assistant helping you out, screening, sort pre-qualifying your prospects to the now business and future business, as opposed to picking every call up. And so it really does give you structure to your life.
Yes, definitely. And if I have to take a vacation, I just don't run the ad for a few days. And whenever I want to get more leads, I just run the ad. That's all.
And now let's talk about the benefits of the hotline to the prospect. And we talked about the benefits to you as an agent or as a broker. Let's talk about the benefits of the hotline to the prospects. Craig has always mentioned it's easy, non-threatened for your prospects to get information from when they want, 24/7 as well. And we found that on a seller's benefit, it will generate 3 times as many calls on the property as well, where you allow them to go and get information, and you're not being positioned as a salesman, right? Because they really don't want to talk to you until they have the ability to go find information. And to me, I mean, do you want to add on to that?
Yes, definitely. I also implement the same system on my newsletter, and I put an information corner for the people who already call for the one ad of mine. They already get the newsletter, and it's running. I just got 4 or 6 different people just calling to order additional reports for my hotline. That's how I know the system actually works so well. Even they down the road to sell the house, now they order in the second report, maybe the third report next month. So it just I know they get a benefit to read those reports and actually order them without talking with me.
Wow, so they're either a stalker or a really good prospect for you, right?
Exactly. I'll take the chance.
That's really good stuff. So, any other thing you want to offer? I mean, we have a lot of agents or a lot of people that come into the Craig Proctor Super Conferences and they're overwhelmed. They come into the event. They're inundated with all the information that you get at these conferences, and some of them, for some reason, really don't implement any of the ads, or run an ad, or implement the system. What did you do? Let's share for the first event, well, the only event you went to,
Yeah.
which was it was a Toronto event. Is that correct? In May.
Yes.
Right. So what did you do at the event, and then when you got home?
I started the coaching a month and a half before the actual event, because I was so eager to start the program.
Right.
So I just copy. They say running the ad. So it's a limited budget in the beginning. So it costs an average for $200 for a decent size editorial ad. But it's worth any penny. Just put them, go call to the newspaper rep, start to get a relationship with him or with her, and so they can help you to set up the best ad. It takes sometimes to get it the way they actually teach us how to do that. Top right corner with no border or whatever needs to be done, and the moment you get to that point, you just run it and it's bring you the leads. So you don't think even twice, just start to run the ads.
So it is that easy. I mean, it's a matter of, there is a lot of stuff they teach you, but you really kind of focus on what campaign you wanted to target, buyers or sellers. You mentioned you wanted to start off with the information line, the editorial style type of advertising. And you picked your script, and again, all these scripts are preloaded, already in 4-digit extensions for you, so you don't even need to determine that. You just need to go to the library, and we give you the number. You enter or place the 4-digit extension in the ad, and away you go. You wait for your leads.
Yes, and also I can mention one time I tried for sell by owner. And he gave me, I think it was 34 leads in one weekend. I was so surprised. So I called to you guys' office. You were so helpful. You helped me to actually strategize the situation of what I tell to them and how I use the hotline to help them. So it was very quick and helpful information.
What 34 leads in the weekend? And so what ad did you run then?
The for sale by owner.
Oh, okay.
For sale by owner. And now I'm offering them a free use of the hotline, and they can listen to that by the email they receive. So the entire process was very helpful. Your office, I called them. I think I was talking with Amy, and she explained everything and make it very easy to implement. So I'm planning to run this ad, I think, every month.
And we have a lot of agents talk about how the hotline is a really good tool for a seller presentation as well, where you can go in there and really demonstrate to the seller what you're doing to market their property.
Definitely. I already have those signed order with all the 1-800 number, and I'm still learning. It's just 3-4 months in the business in that coaching.
Right.
I'm pretty sure in a year from now will be a different situation.
That's amazing. I mean, 3 months into the program, and great results, and really great. And now you need a property tree. Now you need to get that going.
Yes, just run the ad. That's all. Simple.
Yeah, you run the ad, and as Craig mentioned, I mean, it's great to have all the right tools, have the greatest marketing, but if you're not converting those leads to appointments, nothing else matters, right? Are you using the universal callback script that Craig provides?
Definitely, I use everything they provide. I just copy everything. I'm not there yet with every small little detail, but right. I know even if I misfilm what I did so far, I'm not even worried about it, because I know next weekend I get more lead. So
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Okay, that's great. Amy, do we have? We're expecting Jim Gray from Rochester, New York. Is Jim on the line?
You know what? I have not been able to locate him as of right now. We haven't given up trying, that's for sure, but as of right now, we do not have Jim on the call with us.
So it's MIA right now.
He is, yes. Maybe he's selling houses.
Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't you look into the chat box and see if there's any questions that were posted from our guests, and between myself and Nim and Philip, if he's on the line, try to answer them. And while Amy's doing that, anyone on the call who doesn't have a hotline or is looking for a second hotline, we have a deal. You can go to our website. Amy's just got it up there now. automatedmarketingsolutions.com/hotseat, and we offer a 30-day trial there for the hotline, and it's no risk. And I believe if you want to continue after 30 days, it's $49.95 with minutes all included. So yeah, just head over there and or call our number at 800-458-1899, and we'll get you started. 30-day free trial. So is there any questions we want to address?
Yeah, I mean, we had a few of them that were coming through. Some of them have already been answered, I believe, on the call, but depending on when people were coming in, as people filter in off and on throughout the call, just excuse us if we're asking the same thing twice here. So one question that we had come through was from Paul, and he's wanting to know about, with the ads that are being placed in the newspapers, are they paid subscription local papers or are they community papers? And if so, which ones are bringing in the most response? Nim, do you want to maybe give some light on that one?
Yes, most of them are actually paid subscription. I think I have 2 different newspapers with a pay that give the most, and I have one of them go not as a pay, but I still get good leads from that too. So it's all depend. Like one good lead as a seller, I have 500,000 home. It's worth that ad. So it's come from everywhere, but paid are probably the best result.
Yeah, and I think, and that's the great thing about the system and the content that we created in the hotline system is that you can test and track and measure all this. You could really see what's working, what's not, and you know, what publication, what newspaper, paid or free, and exactly what day of the week is good to place your ad. All that could be determined through marketing and tracking and measuring. And that's the good thing about it.
That kind of ties into, Mike, with the next question from Jasbir. He was just asking, when you're doing your ads in the newspaper, are they going under the homes for sales section or the news section? Have you tried both? You know, which one is kind of generating the most response that way?
I tried classified ad. I did as well. I didn't pull as good, but again, it's try and error, and I'm going to keep trying and trying until I get the best result. But under the news, just as editorial, so it's under the radar. I get many older people actually calling to my hotline, and they have a house 20, 30, 40 years. They're the only owner. So I know I'm right in line whenever they're ready to sell. Yeah, probably they didn't contact no other agent. That's the best lead I have, actually.
Yeah, and we've known over the years that the editorial type of ads where it's news, and especially when they think that they're getting news, that you're a news provider, and even though you may have to put who you are and mice type and below the ads, we get usually agents get 3, 4, 5 times the amount of leads doing it that way. But they both work, and the key is to measure and track. Any other questions there, Amy?
I guess here's one here from Keith. It's just asking if you live in a small area, or if you live in an area without small newspapers. You know, how do you go about marketing those?
You want to try that, Nim?
I'm not sure.
What if you live in an area without small? Well, there's all different ways you can advertise or promote. You can use postcards. You know, like a lot of people have integrated online with offline as well. You know, to see which one works best. And you really don't want to kind of alienate your prospect how they get information from you. I'm not sure, Amy, what the question was. Can you repeat? If you live in a small area?
Yeah, if you live in a small area or live in an area without small newspapers. So Keith was saying that there's only 2 monthly papers that get mailed. One as a house ad, and the other's looking for donations.
Right. I would test them. Test them or run a postcard. So it all depends on what you want to target. Again, the newspaper or magazine or a postcard, I mean, these are all mediums. You got the internet as well. Again, the hotline is basically a capture system that really will track and measure the quality of leads. So Craig has provided all kinds of campaigns. It's like a buffet that you can choose from. But large papers, small papers, publication magazines, postcards, all work fine. You just got to test to see what works in your area and what target market you want to go after. Any other questions? How much time we got? We've got a few more minutes.
I think we're on track here. I'm just taking a look. A lot of them seem to be just kind of repeating themselves. They want to know more or less, you know, where the ads are being ran and which ones are the most successful ones that have been used for our panelists today. I think Nim kind of went through those a few times, but you know, if you just want to give the top 3, Nim, just to recap for everyone, which ones you're running that seem to be the best producing leads for you.
Yes, I had the home seller mistakes. It's called 7 Must Know. The inspection and 10 questions before you hire an agent. Also for sell by owner worked as well. That's my top.
That's great.
But I didn't even try all of them. I will try all of them because they will all work in some way or another.
Here's a question it just popped up, Amy. Someone, Dan, has asked what type of contact management systems do you recommend to manage your leads that funnel in? And Nate, what have you or Nim, sorry, what are you using right now?
I'm using ICX.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm just this is again before I got to Craig Proctor, I had that database, but I didn't use it as much. Now I have so many leads, so basically it forced me to learn how to use it, and it's working well. You just find one. I think it's $30 a month, and it's you have to use it when you get so many leads. You really have to use it. So anyone they're recommending, I try only one basically.
Yeah, well, a lot of our members, Amy, use, as you know, Top Producer. The other one would be Agent Office. And the good thing about our technology as well is that we can automatically import these leads into the database. When I say automatic, maybe Amy, you can explain it a little bit better, but it's formatted where you just got to hit a few keys and the lead will actually import into the database. So.
Yeah, the systems basically, without getting too technical, they are compatible with Excel files. So it's just a simple export from our system into yours, and it's seamless with all that information that you're looking for.
And here's another question someone's asking as far as recording and scripting. There's some of them that want to know, actually there's two people here that want to know if they're not comfortable recording property scripts in their USP property tree line. Is there another option? Amy, you want to take care of that?
Yeah, I can answer that one, most
Cool.
definitely. We do have a script recording service, and basically what you would do is forward over the written version of what you would like to have read onto the hotline to our company. We've got an email of scripts@automs.com, and I'll put that in the side panel here for you. And basically, yeah, you just let us know the ID number and the hotline that you would like to have it recorded to. 24 to 48 hours is our turnaround time, and we do have a nominal fee for that, and it's $10 per recording. So if you're not comfortable, we can certainly help you in that aspect.
Now, in regard to the information line, which is the unbranded line, all these lines are all pre-recorded for you. We highly recommend, so does Craig, not to touch them. You know, just use them and copy them over for tracking purposes. Really, the only type of recording you would need to do if you had a USP property tree, of course, are the property listings, which need to be changed all the time, and the introduction script, which, depending on what USP campaign you're using, we provide 9 of them. There's 9 in the that you can choose from, USP ads that you can record on the tree line, and yeah, so really on the information line there is no, you don't really require to record anything. It's all done for you, which is good.
Yeah, one of the questions here, I was just going to say that ties into that as well, Mike, was John had asked if there's a press 0 feature that can be connected over to him directly. So John, we did cover that a little bit earlier on the call, but yes, the tree hotline, typically if you want your prospect to be connected to you, they simply press 0. We help you get that set up, and there's no additional cost to you for that. So, you know, if you've got someone who's listening to a property listing, maybe on your tree hotline, you can say, to get current list price of this home, press 0 now, and off it goes to you. And you choose that number that you'd like it to go to. So I hope that answers that question for you, John.
And we got another question about notification, lead notification. How does that work, and will it actually text you the message? That's from John.
Yep, so basically with the hotlines, you can have it set up to send an email through to you, or you can have a text message sent through to your phone. We can certainly give you a hand in getting that set up as well. If you just reference that number that's on your screen for our customer service, the 1-800-458-1899, we can certainly give you a hand in making sure that you've got that set up properly. It is a 2-step process, so we want to make sure that we teach you how to do it right from the get-go.
That's cool. I think I'm just looking to see if there's any more. We're coming close to the hour, and why don't you, for anyone who's interested, there is the Super Conference of Craig Proctor in Orlando. And Amy, what is the date of that? Is October 20th?
The 25th. Yep.
25th, 26th, 27th. Anyone that's interested in going to the Craig Proctor Super Conference in Orlando, that's highly recommended, and I'm sure, Naim, are you going?
No, I'm not.
You're too busy with all your leads, right?
Yes.
But I highly recommend it, and even, I know a lot of people that have gone before or joined coaching have gone back there, and again, every time you go there, you learn so much more, just the networking and being around people, like-minded people at the event. And we'll be there with a booth, and we will be speaking day 3, which is a Sunday at 10:30. Is that right? Did I get that right, Amy?
Yes,
27th?
You did. Yep, day 3.
And anyone who's interested, we've got some free training webinars that we got. Maybe Amy, you can put that website online. I've hosted many webinars with Craig Proctor, Rick Brash, a lot of Platinum Group people, really sharing their secrets and ideas, how they've taken the hotline system and even tweaked it to a point where they've really made it work. If you go to quantumleaphotlines.com, there should be a banner on the right side, and just opt into those free training. You know, we're not trying to sell you anything there. It's all complimentary training, webinars. We invite you to new events that come up as well, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So I think that's about it, Amy. We're at the hour now. Yeah, 3:01.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
No, I was just going to say thank you to everyone for participating on our call. We had a lot of great questions, and hopefully everyone had answers to the ones that they had asked.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I mean, by all means, they have my email address. They can certainly follow up in that aspect as well, and they can give a call into the office, whichever works for them.
And Nim and Philip, thank you very much for spending the time. I know you guys are very busy with your real estate business, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your ideas and your how you're using the hotline and changing your life, and we really appreciate it.
No problem, my pleasure.
Great. And Amy, great job once again at hosting the call, looking after the moderation point, and we look forward to seeing you guys in Orlando, and good to see you. Happy marketing, and have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.